Italian Football Podcast.
Okay, CJ Barille asks, what is your prediction on how the Italian teams will do it in the Champions League this season? And who do you think will win the tournament overall? Just to give a reminder to everyone, since last season, the tournament's changed. It's a 36-team group. Each team plays 2 teams from each of the pots from the draw. So 8 in total, 1 fixture each. 24 teams go through, 8 get knocked out. Top 8 go straight to the last 16. 9 to 24 go to the last 32. 9 to 16th place are seeded, 17th to 24th unseeded. Hope that makes all sense. Right, so let's go through them one by one. Let's start with Napoli. Where do you see them finishing? How do you see them doing Champions League?
Oh man, I think Conte is the big wild card in this picture, right? So they have added a lot of depth, and they do have, someone who's very accustomed to the Champions League, like Kevin De Bruyne, on their side. So I don't know. Let's say I would say at least around a 16 into quarterfinals.
That's exactly what I've got. I think that the big question is always Conte in Europe, because he's got such a terrible record in the Champions League. But as Nim has been saying, I think he's getting really annoyed now at people bringing up that record, and I think he's got a point to prove this season. So I think he really wants it. He can't he'll just go crazy if they go out again in the groups or early. So I think that there's that. Plus, I look at their business, and I think they really have done a great job on their squad. They've really given themselves a deep squad. Like if they'd have gone into this season with the squad they had last season, I think they would have gone out in the group stage, and even flopped in the league. Now they've got the group. So as long as Conte learns, as long as he learns how to rotate and not just play the same starting 11 every week, then I think that last 16 or quarterfinals for me as well. Inter, of course, last season's finalists. How do you see them doing this season?
Jeez, another wild card. Kept the same squad, but lost their coach, new manager. I mean, I'd say recency bias because they had such a strong opening match makes it difficult. I'm trying not to let that cloud, my judgment. I think they definitely make it out of the group stage too. I'm gonna say round of 16.
Yeah, I've got last 16 or quarterfinals for Inter as well. I think that they've got so much experience in that team, and you've got 2 finals in 3 years, even if the team is aging, and even if there's clearly, as with all Italian teams, there's better teams out there in other leagues than there. We just have to accept that. There's stronger teams, the top Premier League teams. But, Inter have shown what they can do. So I think that experience in Europe is so important, and I think that will still take them to a certain and then if the younger players, like we said before, like Sucic and Boni and Pio Esposito can, emerge immediately, then who knows? But I would say last 16 or quarterfinals. Atalanta, this is the easiest one for me to predict. I almost said what I was going to say. How do you think they're going to do, Atalanta?
Oh, I mean, yeah, like you said, probably
group stage.
Group stage.
Yeah. I think that there is a possibility there, but I caveat that with let's see what they do in the market in these last few days. They have to do something in that market, because I don't like their transfer business. I think they've downgraded their team. I don't see any of their signings improving their starting 11 at all. Plus, we need to see what happens with Lookman. We've got a question on that. Our last question is on that. I'm going to say groups or maybe last 32, but I don't see them going anywhere past the first knockout round. And finally, Juventus. What do you think of Juventus?
Oh man, I've got PTSD from Champions League with Juve over the years. I'm going to say at least, I want to say round of 16. Right? Maybe, maybe I'm being, I don't know.
No, I think that's what I've got down. I've got round of 16. I don't see Juventus getting past the round of 16. But then, of course, it always depends on the draw. Who Juventus get. I mean, last season. But then, having said that, though, last season the Italian clubs got some great draws. I mean, Juventus got the first time in years, because we always complain that the Italian teams get bad draws. The first time in years we were happy with the draw. Juventus got PSV, Milan got Feyenoord, Atalanta got Club Brugge. We were thinking we're all going to go through, and they all they all went out, didn't they?
Yeah.
It was just Inter that went through, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So like, yeah, it's the draw. Sometimes, you just don't know. But I think also with Juventus, I think a lot will depend on the business between now and Monday.
Yes.
As to how well, because the problem I see with Juventus right now is this. I think the first 11 is good. I think Juventus have a strong first 11, but I think the gap between the first 11 and the replacements is massive. It's just not, the players that come in are just not good enough. They're not.
Yeah.
Look at the wing backs. Kostic comes in for Cambiasso. Right wing back, I don't even know who we've even got one. Oh, Juventus even got a backup right wing back.
They're gonna put me in.
No, yeah, exactly, yeah. Centre mids, I mean, you go from Thuram and Locatelli to, I mean, Koopmeiners, if he can rehabilitate himself, okay, that's okay, but we'll have to see if he can do that. Then otherwise you've got McKennie, who might leave, or you've got Miretti, who's still coming back and improving himself at Champions League level. Yeah, that's probably not on the level of the top clubs. And then in defence, I think already there's a weakness at left centre back. And then, you look at the players who are coming in, Rugani and Savona, who might leave. So, yeah, I think that, and that's before you get to the attack, so which we already discussed about. So I think you need a squad. You need a bigger squad. And also, Juventus need to sort out their injury situation. If Juventus get as many injuries this season as they got last season, then it's going to be very tough, I think, to go deep in the Champions League. All right, final question on this: who do you think is going to be the overall winner? Who do you think is going to win the Champions League this season?
I think I said my prediction was Barcelona this year. So
yeah, I'd probably go with that. Yeah, I mean, I think it's PSG, Barcelona, or Liverpool, with a maybe a dark horse being maybe an Arsenal, or maybe even a Chelsea as a very, very dark horse. I don't see anyone else other than that. I don't think Real Madrid this year. I don't think Bayern. And then sadly, I don't think the Italian clubs either, unfortunately.